How's it going, everybody? My name's Warner Fields with Fields of Profit. I'm a six-figure Amazon seller and full-time student, and in this video I'm going to be walking you through exactly step-by-step how you should use Keepa when you're sourcing products to sell on Amazon. Keepa is a tool that I use every single time that I'm buying or selling something on Amazon. It's super valuable. It's like flying blind if you're buying things without using Keepa. So I'm going to be explaining exactly why you need it for your business, and for those of you who are more intermediate or advanced, there's definitely going to be some gems in here that you'll learn from and make some money off of as well. Before we jump into the video, if you're not already a member of our free Amazon seller Discord, there's a link down below. There's over 11,000 people in there, tons of great free information, ungating, sourcing questions, credit cards, all that good stuff's down in there for free. Would love to see you in there. Let's go ahead and jump into the video. So I went ahead and pulled up just a random product on Amazon. I went for this Lego set, and it doesn't really matter. So I'm just going to be diving into this Keepa chart here, explaining exactly what each of these buttons on the side is for and exactly how you can use these options to make money in your business. You'll see very soon why this tool is so essential for your Amazon business. But let's just go ahead and start throwing some stuff on here and figuring out what we can learn about this item. So the first thing that you will want to check, especially for online arbitrage, is this Amazon option. And with the Amazon option selected, you can see when Amazon's been in stock, when they go out of stock, what the price was. This is very useful, especially since Amazon generally does not share sales on listings where they're trying to get sales. It's their platform. They kind of monopolize the sales a little bit. It's their game. We play by their rules. The next thing you're going to want to add is the new price line. This new price line is not necessarily the price that the item was selling for. It just means that this new price line is the lowest of all the new offers on this listing. And this new price line also does not include shipping, so that's important to note. I would imagine that a lot of these offers where it kind of dips are not including shipping. So really the cost could be, $4 more. The next thing that you're going to want to look at, sometimes you want to look at the used options, especially for selling things like books. In this case, there's no used options because it's just a Lego set. It's all new sellers on here. There might be a couple used sellers, but it's not important for our sourcing decisions in this case. The next thing I'm going to throw on here, and this is probably the most important feature on Keepa, is to be able to look at the sales rank. And this is going to tell us all kinds of useful information about this product. The sales rank, if you're brand new to Amazon, the closer to 1 you are, the better. And anywhere, like this product is below 10,000 almost all the time, except for back here. But below 10,000, this product's selling a ton of units. Right now it's in the couple hundreds, as it's Lego set, it's Christmas time. So this product is seeing a ton of sales velocity. The next thing I want to go ahead and look at here is the buy box line here. I'm going to go ahead and skip around in order of what I think is probably the most important. So these options here that I've selected are probably what most people use when they're using Keepa. These are probably the most important. There's a couple more that I do use fairly often, but the buy box price line, I'm going to go ahead and take away Amazon just to make it simpler. I'll remove this one as well. The buy box price line is the price that the item was actually selling for at that point in time, and you can actually see who was selling that product. So in this case, it looks like the buy box has always been owned by Amazon on this listing. But on listings where they're sharing the buy box or there's no Amazon at all, you'd be able to see exactly who was selling that product at that time. You can go ahead and click on the buy box and it'll show you all kinds of useful information, the time, the price, how many they had in stock. That tends to be a lot more useful when you're looking at products where it's an FBA seller instead of Amazon. But this buy box price line is extremely important because this is what the item was actually selling for. So if you are, so we can go ahead and zoom in here. I'll show you. So looks like someone was able to sell this item. Looks like it sold out in probably like 10 minutes on them. But you can go ahead and click here if I can zoom in far enough. This product was being sold by 718 sold it. You see how many reviews they had, you see how many ratings they had. It didn't track their stock, probably just because they were in stock for so short of an amount of time. Looks like it was about less than 2 hours here. You can see it went from 3 p.m. to a little less than 1 or a little after 1 p.m. that day. So this item was selling super fast. Even with Amazon on the listing, they were able to get a sale here. But this buy box price line is extremely important because if you look at an item, so you see we turn on this new price line here. So if you look at just the new price line, you might think, oh man, I have to list this item for $19.01 to be able to sell it, where in actuality, it was selling for $24. And this is the case on listings where it's not controlled by Amazon. You are often able to sell it above the new price line. If you're paying close attention to the buy box price line, that's where you should be setting your prices, setting your repricer if you have one. Make sure you're looking at the buy box price and not the low new price. Because you will be able to capture sales at that buy box price, squeeze out a little bit more profit. That's something I've been doing a lot lately on listings where there are other prime FBA sellers who are selling on that listing for cheaper, but the buy box is a little bit higher for whatever reason, so you're able to squeeze out a little bit more profit. The other things that I want to go ahead and look at here, these two options I use quite frequently. We can turn this on and look at what the new FBA offers are priced at. This is going to sort these offers by whoever had the lowest FBA price here. So it looks like right now the lowest FBA prices on this listing are about $36. This gets a lot more useful when we go back here in time to last February when they went out of stock. And you can see the new FBA prices. The Amazon went out of stock for $29.99. The second they went out of stock, it was selling FBA for $55. So you can see how this would be useful, because you check out this new price line here, and it says it was selling for like $41 or $50 when really it was selling for $55. And the same applies for FBM. We can go ahead and turn on these little blue boxes, and we can see what people are trying to sell it merchant fulfilled for. Merchant fulfilled, if you're not familiar, if you're brand new to Amazon, that's just when you're shipping directly from you to the customer, versus FBA, which is where you're shipping from yourself to Amazon, and then Amazon ships that order out when the customer buys it. But we can go ahead and zoom in back here. If you want to zoom in on a Keepa graph, you can click and hold and then release, and then it'll zoom in on a particular spot. So we can see who was selling at merchant fulfilled, who was selling at FBM. We can even click on this offer, see Rudolph's Best Deals and Buys was selling it on January 21st for a price of about $57. And the fact that this is the lowest kind of button shown here, so we see these FBA buttons were shown here for $55, and then they disappeared, and then suddenly it became the FBM sellers who were able to sell this product. You'll notice that the pink line here actually disappeared, meaning there was no buy box on this listing. And because of that, you can watch the sales rank here. So you see how the sales rank was in the couple hundreds, and then as soon as Amazon went out of stock, that price started going way up, and so did sales rank, which makes sense. Less people are going to want to buy it when it's selling for probably, like, it looks like about double the price. So you can actually see how much less interest people have in this product at that price. That's going to be extremely useful for some of your sourcing decisions where, let's say you're looking at this product, it's selling for $29, but when it's this $55 price, this around here, the sales rank is a lot slower. So if you're sourcing this product, buying hundreds or thousands of units, if you're sourcing it as though it were a 400 sales rank product, and then suddenly it becomes a 10,000 sales rank product, you're gonna have way too much in stock. So it's super important to be able to look back at that past historical sales data. And in this case, we can see how much demand this product really does have. When it's selling for about $55, it looks like it eventually dropped down to $47. But it's important to know how fast these products are actually going to be able to sell when the prices increase, because that's going to help inform your sourcing decisions, help you keep from stocking too much at one time. So now that we have a basic understanding of how to interpret all of those basic filters and data points on that Keepa chart, I went ahead and pulled up a different product here to show you another great feature of Keepa that you can actually use, again, to keep yourself from losing money. Interpreting this data is all about mitigating your risk. If you have all of the past sales data, you can essentially predict the future, use that to inform your decisions, and really keep you from losing money in the long run. So in this case, there's quite a few variations on this listing. So you might look at this listing, say, hey, this has a sales rank of about 150,000 or so is what it's averaging. If you kind of draw a straight line through this graph, it's probably got about 150,000 sales rank. That means it's not selling insanely fast, probably somewhere between 30 to 90 units a month. So if you look at this one specific product, it's a 13 by 13 washcloth. You might look at this and say, hey, this specific product is selling about 30, maybe 60 times a month. But in actuality, all of this data is shared among all of these variations. So at that point, it becomes a problem. If you buy this specific variation, and suddenly you'd find out very fast if this variation isn't actually selling, because you'd be buying a bunch of these washcloths, you send them in, they're not selling at all. Now you got a problem on your hands. But you can actually use a very awesome feature of Keepa. I use this one all the time. You can actually press this Variations tab here, and this is going to show you all of the different products on the Amazon listing. Well, it looks like it's glitching out. Give me a second here. All right, quick little refresh, fixed it there. Little hiccup in the road. But you can see here how all of these different sizes and colors and all that of this towel have different numbers of ratings. So it's a reasonable interpretation of this review data that this percentage of the ratings is roughly equal to the number of sales that this item is seeing every month. So let me interpret that this way. So my sales estimator of this product, it says it's selling 32 times a month. So if you multiply the review percentage of this specific variation by the number of sales per month, we can reasonably infer that this specific variation is selling about 3 or 4 times a month. So this listing is really not selling fast at all, which is kind of weird for a product with this many ratings. But we can see that from the ratings breakdown. We can see that from the sales estimator that this product is not selling 32 times a month. It's selling 10% of that. So this can really help you avoid losing money, or it can help you find those diamonds in the rough where the product is a really awesome opportunity. It's got a bunch of variations on it that might scare other Amazon sellers off of the listing if they're not sure how to interpret variations. That can give you a nice competitive advantage to actually go in, be one of the educated Amazon sellers, hop on that listing knowing that that variation is actually selling. You're just going to want to make sure that the rating percentage times the number of sales per month is equal to or greater than the amount of sales that you want to be seeing on a specific listing. If you are not sure how to estimate the sales per month, I'll go ahead and show you this tool real quick. It's called junglescout.com/estimator. It's a free tool. This tool I use is a paid tool, so if you're just getting started, you might not want to invest in a bunch of fancy software right off the bat. But you can actually just go in here to the data tab of Keepa, and I really encourage you guys to go ahead and poke around with all of the options on Keepa. There's tons of stuff that's going to help you make better decisions, help you make more money. But in this case, we're going to be looking for the 30-day average sales rank, which is 169,000. We're going to go ahead and type that in over here. We're looking at the United States marketplace, and then we're going to go ahead and figure out the category. In this case, it's in home and kitchen. You can see that right here. It's got the categories labeled. So we're going to go ahead and type in home and kitchen, and then we're going to go ahead and estimate that. So in this case, this estimator says it's actually selling a lot faster than the estimator I have. You know, no estimators are perfect. It could be maybe this one's right, maybe this one's right. But at the end of the day, the best way to actually be able to tell how often this product is actually selling is just going ahead and getting that real data, making your test buys. But you can use this ratings review percentage to make sure that you're not buying a product that's barely selling at all. You'd be stuck with even a test buy. So that's a really important way to use Keepa, especially with variation listings, so that you're really not going to lose any money on those. One last feature of Keepa that I do want to go ahead and show you here is this bottom box down here. This is going to be extremely important for basically determining the supply of the item, right? So if there's, you know, simple economics, if there's more supply than there is demand, then the price is going to fall. So you want to avoid listings that look like that. So in this case, we can actually see how many new sellers have been on this listing over time. Looks like back here when this product was selling for $31, there was only 1 and then 2 FBA sellers on this listing. And then it kind of stayed there. They kind of hung out at this $23.75 price. A couple more people started hopping on, and then eventually we reached a point where there were 7 sellers, and now there's 10 sellers, and this price has dropped all the way down from $31 all the way to $19. So it's really important to be able to look at this Keepa graph, see the supply versus the demand, and then on an item where, let's say, the new offer count has been decreasing. Let's say over the last couple weeks it's gone from 10 to 5. that might be a nice way to tell that in the future that item's price is probably going to go back up a little bit as that supply is decreasing. The demand's staying the same here. Looks like this sales rank chart stays fairly consistent here. So we'll be able to reasonably infer that price is going to go back up fairly soon. So if you've been, maybe let's say you bought this product here thinking it was going to sell for 24 bucks, and then suddenly it's $19. You're not really sure what to do with it, but then you see the new offers dropping. That's going to be an amazing way to be able to tell that pretty soon that price is probably going to go back up. Maybe be patient for another 2 weeks, 3 weeks, wait for that price to go back up. And that's going to help you really squeeze out that profit, especially if you're tight on capital when you're first starting. You definitely don't want to sell at a loss too much. So that's another great way to actually kind of forecast the future using Keepa. So hopefully you guys were able to get some massive value out of this video. If you did, feel free to help out my business. Hopefully I've helped out yours. Hit that subscribe button down below. Let's make it kind of a trade here. If you have any questions or comments about anything I said, feel free to drop those in the comments section. I'm happy to answer any questions you guys have. But I really appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you next time.